Hello, hello. Happy Monday. Welcome to the show. We got a packed one. Big TJ Actions exploit GitHub runner has dropped. A new agentic phishing technique to look out for. And a developer is going to jail for implementing a backdoor in their worker
Y-
systems.
Yep, he's Mike. I'm Steve. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and this is Wired In.
Yes, St. Patty's Day on a Monday. We are here. We're back. It's been a little while. But as always, 10 articles, 10 breakdowns. Links in the description below. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you know when we come live on a Monday on St. Patty's.
Okay, is it? Are we gonna do the whole? We do the whole thing in an Irish accent?
I can't
No,
do it. I do not want to offend the Irish.
and offend the yeah, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I should have wore green. I missed that one.
I got nothing. Yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
Yoda's
We'll
picking
let it go.
there.
We're rebelling.
Yeah, right. On to the first article. This one, we had this one on the list for a week. It's been updated. It caused a little ruckus online. The original article referred to a backdoor. So there was a backdoor found in a Bluetooth chip on over 1 million devices. It's been changed now. So it's not backdoor. It is undocumented commands because that's technically true. All of this to say that after this big announcement went out and there was a breakdown at an event, the producer of the Bluetooth chip came out and said that these were their debugging commands that they left on. So
And we believe them.
and that's the thing. It's like, one, why didn't you remove it? And then two, you're gonna have to recall all these, right? Like nobody's gonna buy these.
Yeah, it's still really bad. It's like, oh, we left the debugging commands that allow us to do a really, spoofing of trusted devices, unauthorized data access, and pivoting to other devices on the network for debugging purposes and long-term persistence.
Yeah, that's a big boo-boo.
All right. Well, at least we've got that in our locker. Should any of us ever be involved in a colossal backdoor? It's debugging.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we need to go in and, oops.
And we've talked about how the US implemented their certification. I forget what the name is called, but it has to do with the hardware and verifying before it goes into a device.
Hmm.
Something that's going to happen. They're going to catch this. This was not a malicious activity, apparently, but at the same time, do you trust
It's
it?
bad.
Yeah,
No.
like is every hardware device from China that's going to come in is going to be like, oh, we left the debugging commands in. My bad.
Oh my gosh, again.
Yeah, that one was bad, but this one's actually malicious. This is an interesting article.
Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't put this into WTF because it is
We had
properly stupid.
too many WTFs.
Too
We
many.
had to move
That's
this
our
one up.
life. That's how we live. Yeah, the developer who got demoted. This is what happens in your 50s. David Liu, 55 of Houston, was demoted, and he wasn't too happy about that. And he decided to create a malicious malware that runs an infinite loop. This is where I'm already like, this is the simplest malware ever. Then it's like Java. It doesn't sound that clever, although the implementation is kind of clever because it went out when he got fired.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
this code enabled integrated into Windows Active Directory so that as soon as his name was removed, it kicked off the script, right? And is
mhm.
DLE enabled in AD? Is Davis Liu enabled in Active Directory? Pretty straightforward. They also have record of him searching how to do all this stuff on his work laptop. So that really didn't go well. All this to say that apparently cost the company hundreds of thousands of dollars when he eventually got fired. And when they did the investigation, they found out that, yep, it was him. He has been convicted. He is awaiting sentencing.
10 years in prison. The trigger was, is David Liu here? There's no covering your tracks at all.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you could try to claim somebody else did it.
Yeah, false flag. Yeah, it's triggered on the day we fired you.
Yeah, maybe put a timer in there next time and not put your name in.
Something.
This really should have been a WTF.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, it'll be funny if in a few weeks we find out it really was a false flag and David had nothing to do
Not
with
funny
it.
for David.
Apologize. No.
I feel very bad. All right, on to some of the bigger and more breaking news in the community. The hardened runner detection.
Yeah, TJ Actions changed files action. This is really interesting because I think in my latter days of Palo Alto, and certainly some of the work with our friends at Boost Security, hey, Canadian security company, if you're trying to look into that kind of situation, who do look at things like this, along with Step Security, credit to Step Security and Varun Sharma, who found this. A modification of the TJ Actions changed files um, injected malware that took your secrets and put it into the GitHub logs. Sounds very simple, except my immediate question was, how do you commit that code, right? That seems ridiculous. Turns out there's a TJ Actions bot, and that bot has a personal access token that is not even slightly least privilege. So they worked that out, got the personal access token. That is not published yet, how they did that.
Hmm.
And then because that token had the ability to commit and overwrite commits on previous tags, not only did they corrupt the current version, they corrupted all the previous versions as well. And 23,000 repositories that use this action were compromised. What blows my mind is that all they did was put this stuff into the logs, which meant it was publicly available. They didn't exfiltrate it to a server. They just exposed people.
Yeah, I read that there was no exfiltration, but what's I'm assuming they got caught as well because GitHub's probably flagging all of these tokens that are now publicly accessible in the logs, right? Normally GitHub does monitor for that stuff and will send you an email if you have identifying information, not in
Well, that's
runner
just it.
logs.
How did they get? Oh, yeah, yeah. If you somehow put stuff into, or either that, or it automatically obfuscates anything that looks bad in the log. But they must have done it in a way that avoided that.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't know how they would have found who did it either, because if you get a pat token, you can use that from anywhere. You know, it just looks like the bot did it.
And so they went back and changed the tags of the specific releases that just like to update it so that it wouldn't be able to be downloaded or that it referred to a different tag. What was the like it's compromised, but what's the malicious action here? Right? By going back and
Yeah.
changing the tags of previous releases.
Well, yeah. I mean, they added their. I mean, if you scroll down, I mean, oddly enough, this is a very informative article. If you want to click down below, they base 64 encoded a string that had its own code in, then backed it, and then use this gist to go get even more Python code, which they could run. So it wasn't so obvious, right? Because this is the only edited piece. But then they went and got all this from a external gist, which that could be an indicator of who did it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all kind of spelled out here. So reproducing the exploit. I mean, if you're if you're looking to do this in the future, all the information you need is also in this article. Yeah, I mean it's malicious because you're just putting things into the logs. I don't know. It seems like almost like a proof of concept
Yeah.
because it's not malicious enough. It's still malicious though. Yeah, I mean credit to Step, but also credit to like Step Security has a very cool hardened runner that particularly if you're going to run your own, you have your own internal runners that you use in public repos. I mean, it's bad practice. Bridgecrew used to do it, but they needed to. Just for cost reasons, really. And we had our own hardening mechanisms, but Step Security has a great action called Hardened Runner. You should always start with, just to see if your runner's doing something crazy, and that's what they used to find it. So it's probably one of the biggest supply chain security things that we've seen in a long time. You know, there's been a lot of theoretical ones, but this is like an actual, like the XE utils last year. This is pretty huge, and the fact that I don't know. I still don't think people pay enough attention to how they use GitHub. It's not my job anymore, but I'd still.
Yeah, I've seen a few of your talks at the CNCF meetups, and the amount of people that come up to you after and are like, "Wait, you can do that to protect your GitHub action?" It's pretty basic stuff.
You got to pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. There has been another. You mentioned GitHub and the runners, but this is another one that impacted like 14,000 downloads, and specifically our Microsoft applications. Shocker, shocker. So malicious PyPy packages stole cloud tokens over 14,000 downloads before removal. Sorry, this is the Microsoft one. This is the Python one.
But it affects mostly Microsoft people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. This is discovered by Reversing Labs, and I mean, I love these. We've done this. We've done something like this probably 3 or 4 times in the past, where there's been a flurry of these are all like time based, time check, time like looking fairly innocuous dependencies. Looks like the winner was a cloud client of almost 6,000 downloads, where they were. Now I have to remind myself because I've been reading so many of these articles as to what it did. For some reason, I feel like once again it was using PowerShell and all related to Windows access to exfiltrate things. Am I wrong, or am I just
That's another one. We got another one coming up in
Oh my
the
god!
section. Yeah.
Okay. Oh geez. All right. So oh no, cloud data
Tokens, yeah.
exfiltration. That's what this one is. Yeah. That's
This was just another one using, time check server, time check get, like basic sort of utilities that people are pulling from, and then they implement it in their code. It pulls some other stuff down, and
this is just the
um,
developers going out there and just grabbing something off PyPy or in some cases NPM, and then when we reported in the past, going, well, this looks like it's going to do what I want.
yeah,
Like,
no
really?
check.
That's it? That's the security
Is
step
this the
involved.
AI vibe coding that I keep seeing? People just like, "Oh, we like this package." Hey,
Yeah, I
ChatGPT,
mean,
does this do the job? Yes.
that's the top. Yeah, I mean, you need yeah. It's another supply chain security situation. This is the kind of thing I think Endor Labs kind of rubs their hands together when they see these kind of moments too, right?
Yeah, Endor Labs, I'm trying to think like Minder, right?
Yeah, yeah,
There's a few, out there that are trying to solve this problem. Alright, on to the last
absolutely.
one before we get into the crazy stuff. This one I just found interesting because it's the beginning of, I think, some of the well, hopefully the predictions that I made coming true. Spain to impose massive fines for not labeling AI-generated content. Spain's adopting some of the EU suggestions. What this means
Yeah,
is they're gonna create a whole unit that looks at this and then imposes fines. I also think what's gonna happen is it's gonna go the other way. I think it's harder to say what is AI and what isn't. It's easy to say what is produced by a specific person and link it to them. So
hmm,
if you have an account and you sign in and we biometrically verify that it's you or that you signed in using your passkey or something like that and you post, it's gonna be assigned to you. Now, if it gets reported later that it's AI and you haven't marked it as AI, they're gonna pass
hmm,
the fine to you or kick you off or something like that. And then everything else is gonna be labeled cautious content or AI generated content or unverified content, right? Seems like
yeah, that
the
makes
easiest way.
sense. Yeah, yeah, I like the unverified idea. What I didn't swallow entirely in this article was this line here. You know, they whether they look like they kind of say they're trying to prevent deep fakes, but a deep fake is not going to label itself, so it's not really going to protect you against.
And that's why I think the only way to protect it is to actually make sure somebody's authorized when they post the content, because then you actually have somebody you can go after. So I think this is one step into verification on social media platforms of who you are and what user you are.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I just don't think they're going to stop deepfakes. I think they're going to stop a lot of misleading,
Yeah.
but a good old fashioned solid deepfake in today's world. I mean, you can fake whoever puts it up. You can fake everything. So
And it really only applies to the sites that are actually going to monitor and are
yeah,
within reach of the legal system of that country, right?
for sure, for sure.
Yeah. All right. On to the crazy stuff. Yes, might have heard, but X has suffered another DDoS attack. Crazy. I heard it might be Ukraine. That was the news. Yeah, so we put this in the WTF
Yeah,
section because DDoS attacks are fairly common. They come from all over the world. You can spoof IPs, you can route them through different servers, but for some reason, Elon Musk decided to say it was from Ukraine. That hasn't really been true, I believed. The other thing that came out a few days later was that X left a few of their servers open on Cloudflare and did not use the DDoS protection that Cloudflare has built in, and that's why they were impacted.
it's like entirely what Cloudflare. It's almost what Cloudflare is exactly there for.
Yeah. I think the more interesting thing is how did people not catch this sooner? Like, did a
Oh,
switch just happen and some people like left some servers unprotected, right? Like maybe they brought up new servers and it didn't come with like the key to authenticate with Cloudflare. Like I don't really know how that gets caught that late because you'd think that people are scanning X for open IPs, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I know it seems unlikely with the current positive sentiment about Elon Musk that someone might be looking to do some damage to certain brands, in particular from Ukraine. You know, I saw Ukraine, and actually the article goes on to say, oh, you can say it's from anywhere you want, and you know, maybe you would say the Ukraine. I almost feel like the Ukraine may have done it because they're like, he's kind of Trump's puppeteer, and and they probably ticked off with him.
Yeah, maybe somebody fed him that information. He just went with it. Who knows? I think
Yeah,
the
who
bigger
knows?
story is just, use what you pay for, protect
Yeah,
your servers with your
kids.
Cloudflare subscription that you're paying a ton of money for.
Yeah, if hey there, kids, if you become the richest person on earth,
Yeah.
turn on your Cloudflare.
Yeah, maybe no people are gonna be out to get you. Might wanna
That's right.
cover yourself a little bit. All right, on to the malvertising campaign. This is the
Yeah, I like
Microsoft
that
one that
word.
we kind of alluded to earlier. Microsoft says malvertising campaign impacted 1 million PCs. Microsoft has taken down undisclosed number of GitHub repositories used in massive malvertising campaign. Basically, it was an image, an ad that linked to GitHub that then pulled a GitHub account onto your PC, your Windows PC, looked for system discovery if certain things were open or not, and then was
Mhm.
able to exfiltrate data or even download and install a file that could be run that launches a binary and opens files, and there's a whole PowerShell script and everything like that. And this is
It's not,
all through Microsoft. So I'm pretty sure it was like an ad in Windows that if you clicked on would redirect and do all this stuff. And then Windows had to shut it down. It's like, and it's on GitHub. So it's all just Windows attacking Windows.
yeah, it's just further irony. Like what do these adverts look like? Oh, they kind of look like these ones over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't click on anything.
Don't click on anything ever. All right. What do we got? What's next on the cards?
Oh, this is a quick
You you
punch.
you added
Yeah.
this one because you wanted to make fun of them.
Yes, because anybody that's ever ridden Amtrak knows it is constantly delayed. There's an issue just with the tracks and with space, and freight trains run on the same track that Amtrak does, and so it's just constantly delayed. Just so you know, they spent tons of money, and now you have an app that will tell you how late it's going to be. So no fixed infrastructure, but don't worry, we'll tell you if it's going to be 15 minutes delayed, and then you show up, and then it's another 15 minutes delayed. So the app looks a lot cleaner. It's cooler.
The cleaner, yeah. Yeah, the logo is a Band-Aid or something stupid like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
It's just such a, I don't know, a Western way to come up with a technical solution when the original solution should just be to try
Fix
to
it.
ensure the trains run on
Root
time.
cause analysis? I don't
Yeah.
know. That's all overrated. Just make another app that tells you how the other
Yeah.
how much that other one sucks.
Yeah. Another
Nice.
app. Yeah. And then, maybe there's gonna be some sort of consolidation app because there's two apps now. There's one for like Amtrak Boston, one for Amtrak in New York. Anyways. I just
All
shook
right,
my head
out
when I
from
read
left
that article,
field.
so I had to bring it in. Okay.
Hey, it's fair, not maybe slightly worse. Breaking news today: St. Patrick's Day hacks a sperm bank in California, California Cryo Bank, which if you saw the sign on the building, California Cryo Bank, you probably would not assume it was a sperm bank. You probably think you're going to walk in and buy some crypto. Yeah, but they were targeted. One of the largest reproductive tissue. That's a phrase that I was unfamiliar with. A very polite way of saying sperm bank. Has disclosed that there's a breach that has affected an unknown number of Americans. Yeah, it's for me. The reason I found this interesting is because it never even occurred to me. But of course, a sperm bank is going to have a ton of data because this is like genetic material. So
Yeah,
they're
I'm
going to have
kinda
a
shocked.
ton of sensitive information.
They stole social security numbers, driver's license numbers, financial account numbers, health insurance information, like, that's,
Mhm.
and it's probably good bang for your buck. I mean, these are not low-income individuals, right?
Nice pun. No, exactly. This is that's a fascinating target that was kind of off my radar until I saw it here and thought, oh, right. Yeah. All right. So if you're anything out there unexpectedly is holding a ton of private health and genetic information, assume that's going to somebody out there with the chops to hack into you is already probably scanning your environment to look for potential vulnerabilities.
All right, on to the last one. This is kind of scary.
I love this one.
I figured this would be right up
Last
your alley.
and not even slightly least, right? The OpenAI operator released in kind of like a DIY agentic aspect. I mean, OpenAI is an agent, whether you realize it or not. Anyway, it's just an orchestrator on the front end, very much like the recently hyped Manus, and has a slew of tools in the background. But operator, you can give it specific tasks and it will then orchestrate those tasks and execute them in a certain order, and does it in a very cool way. And of course, Symantec, great security company, did a research blog about how they could create a spoofing email just from a name. So they gave them, I think they gave the name of Broadcom? They found a particular person and said, I want to find out who that person was, who they targeted. But they gave them a name, and it looked up the name and then found the email of the person just based on knowing other emails from Broadcom and guessed their email, and built a message for them. Like, I think at first it didn't quite work, and then they modified the prompt a little bit, and then they successfully got it to send them a PowerShell script. PowerShell again. It built the PowerShell script by learning how to build a malicious PowerShell script. Like, as part of the operator agentic process, it learned PowerShell and wrote a malicious script, baked it into an email, and sent the email. And all off of just operator, do this and attack this person. It's like scary, but completely awesome at the same time.
Yeah. There's a little bit of guardrails there that popped up, but they, I guess, prompt engineered it and overwrote it. So this is going to be your future. Make sure that you go through your emails very meticulously now.
Yeah, I mean, this is now right up my street. I'm still working for Stealth AI. Come talk to me in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I wonder what the next thing, because I mean, phishing emails are again, like, you can always tell when it comes from a different country, or the English is slightly off, or where's this email or something like that. But now anybody can type this stuff in, generate it, see what works, copy paste that, right? Like, let's say you have one campaign that starts working a lot. Now you just use that, mass produce it using ChatGPT and OpenAI, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising, but I mean, it's in beta. I mean, let's be clear about that too.
Yeah.
This is in beta for customers who are only paying for the $200 a month pro account. So this is a learning experience for us, but also for OpenAI, because this is public. They probably already know that they're putting guardrails on it and learning how it can defend itself against these kind of things. So while it works now, I highly doubt that when it goes mainstream, the same thing will be.
I'm also waiting for the
so
defensive
easy.
articles to come out. We really haven't seen that many of, hey, we had OpenAI scan through all these emails and we noticed 5 that are phishing emails, and here's how we noticed them, right? Like,
yeah, that's the next phase, right? If your email should be scanned. I mean, I have to assume there are products out there that are,
and they have to be internal, right? They'd have to be hosted internal next to the emails, like all. And then you have to ask, like, do you want your internal AI going through your CEO's emails? Yes, no, maybe.
There you go. You've opened up the epic AI can of worms of AI. We don't want our information in AI. Oh, wait a second. No, we definitely want our information protected by
But only certain
AI,
information.
but only certain ones, because it's important that we don't put sensitive information into AI. But it won't be very good unless we put sensitive information. Anyway, yeah. This is the next few years of our lives, is trying to solve that twisted problem.
That'll be fun, and we'll be live every like 2-ish weeks talking about it. Happy St. Paddy's Day.
All right. It's 10 a.m. or it's noon. It's almost noon.
Lunchtime.
Legally okay to have a Guinness.
There you go. Take care.
I'm Steve. He's Mike.
Yep.
Out of here.
Bye.